Hey guys, it's Vanessa. Welcome back to my channel. So now that we are completely done with the Advent and Gratitude documented season, I thought it would be fun to put together a little quick flip through showing you how I worked through Advent in my Gratitude documented binder and also in my Bible. So since I've already done a flip through on the Gratitude documented part, you can find that on my page. I'm going to go ahead and skip to the Advent portion. So I kept it really simple this year. I just did one for each prompt. So we have hope, love, joy, and peace. And I will show you how I worked through those. So here is the one for hope. And I did try to incorporate some of the scraps that came with the kit. Did a little bit of origami and so forth. Used some paper from the Illustrated Faith Print and Pray shop. And then, of course, just cut up the strips of the devotional. And then here it is for the second page. I've used some of the newest release from the Illustrated Faith kit for the January. That's just the little notepads that I did a little origami butterfly out of. And then I used some Christmas cards and then just made a little pocket here to tuck my devotional in. And then here we have for love. I took advantage of the Illustrated Faith Print and Pray sale and printed off these little happy girls, just celebrating the love that we have from the Lord and the love that came down during Advent season. And then on the back, here on the back, I did a very non-traditional Christmas. Sometimes it's hard for me to stay completely in that holiday vibe, and I just have to venture out and do more of like my style. So that's what I've done with this. Just use some pattern paper here. I think this right here is from Good Vibes, and this was just in a packet from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to just create a little pocket here for that devotional to slide into. And it just says, then he appeared and the soul felt its worth. So that and this is about as Christmassy as this page is going to get. And then for joy, I actually used the envelope from this Christmas card to tuck the devotional in. And then I just created this little joy page. This is from Illustrated Faith Print and Pray shop, along with this pattern piece. This is just some craft paper. These little clouds came from Illustrated Faith's Gratitude documented tip-ins. I cut those out and just used those. Some little hearts I picked up from Tuesday morning. And then this little cut file is from a page by page on Etsy. It's Paige Evans, some of her cut files, and then I've just put some paper in behind it. And then right here you can see is actually this card. I just used the packaging. I'm all about reusing that packaging. So this right here just came with the packaging for the card, and I created my own little thing to hang some of the Christmas cards from. And then this little stocking here is from Illustrated Faith's Print and Pray shop. And then finally for the binder is peace. And what I actually did, I love creating these little paper banners. And so I put this together and just did both fabric and paper, and then pulled some from Paige Evans. I can't remember. I think it might be her. I'm not sure which collection it's from. If I can find it, I'll link it down below. And then this right here is from the Illustrated Faith Print and Pray shop. And then here's just some pattern paper I made some leaves out of. And then this one you can just flip over and you see the devotional. So I tried to include the devotional in each one, and just kept it really simple for my binder since I was working every day for 2 months. It just was getting a little bit too much to have to do for the binder every day. So with that done, I can move on to the Advent Bible journaling. I'm actually going to pull my book out here just to kind of help me remember what page these are on. Now I did use the washi tape to mark all of my Advent, so that way it's easy for me to go back and flip through and see what I did for Advent that year. If I could go back, I would probably have printed out some numbers or something like that to make the flip through quite a bit easier than this. So For the first, I tried to keep most of these fairly simple since we are doing every day. So a lot of these will either just be a half of a page. So here's entry 1. I kept it really simple. Some of these will have journaling, some won't. I knew I was going to be doing a flip through, and I didn't want all of my personal prayers to be out and about. So I did use the labels from Illustrated Faith's Print and Pray shop on almost all of mine, just to stamp out the theme for the week, and then also to do the stamp date. So all of this that you see here came from Illustrated Faith. The flowers are from the Print and Pray shop. The labels are from the Print and Pray shop. And then the stamps here are from the kit. And then this right here is their date stamp. So for day 2, also here in Psalms, kept it really simple. Just used some of the Illustrated Faith hexes as ornaments to put those down. And then for day 3, I don't know if I marked this one. Pretty certain it's, there we are. Use some of the Print and Pray goodies, and then again with just the little labels here. This is actually still under hope, but we're talking about praise, and so the joy that comes. I went ahead and skipped to some of the other ones. Here's for day 4. I loved using this confetti in the pages, and then just creating my own little branch here to hang my stockings from. A lot of this came from Illustrated Faith's kit or their Print and Pray shop. And then for day 5, kept it really simple with some of the stamps from the kit. Just cut up the card, and then this right here was the freebie that Illustrated Faith had for Advent. I just love these little critters in this kit, both the bear and the little reindeer. So I just cut him out and I framed him using some of the Illustrated Faith Print and Pray goodies. This is also from an older Print and Pray goodie from Elaine Davis. I think it was actually on a tip-in. And then for day 7, I actually did 2 entries on day 7. This was a live I did on Instagram with the community. So there's this one, and then I also did one in Colossians. I just really like this devotional. The great thing about this book as well is that you're given like 4 verses, so you can just mark which ones I just put a little notation on which ones I do, and then if I want to go back and reread this devotional, I can go back and journal. Of course, I'm about to have to get a new Bible, so I can probably reuse those, but if you're still in the same Bible, this is an excellent way to kind of make sure you're not journaling on the same page. So there's 2 entries for day 7. And then for day 8, talks about delighting in the Lord. So I went really stamp happy on this one. I wanted to use almost all the stamps, just as a joy in the Lord. So I used these right here are the homespun alpha stamps from Illustrated Faith at Daysprings, and then the rest of these stamps come with the kit, and then just some free-handed doodles. Then for day 9, this one was a lot of fun. This is actually part of that Christmas card set from the binder that you saw. And then this right here was a heart from the Illustrated Faith's Gratitude Documented tip-in. I'll use that in another post, and I'll show you that as well. But I just made a little tip-in here, and then cut up the card and use it at the top, again with the labels. Day 10 is actually not in this Bible. It's in my illustrating Bible. not going to grab that, so we're just going to go ahead and skip for day 10. If you are interested in how that one turned out, you can head over to Illustrated Faith's Instagram or IGTV account, and they have that page. I kind of do the process video on that page over there, so you can check it out. And then for day 11, this one was one of my favorites. This is just some print and pray goodies from the Illustrated Faith Print and Pray shop, and then these little bears again. I love the little bears, and then I just gave them some little glasses for talking about vision and having our focus set on Jesus. So I love me some glasses and bears and glasses. Super cute. Oops. And for day 12, we're talking about the condition of the heart. And so I wanted to remember that the Spirit lives and dwells in me there. So that's where this right here comes from. Got a little 3D element with this little heart here. It'll pop up off the page. And then day 13. This one is also over on Illustrated Faith's IGTV account, so if you're interested in products I used in this and how this page came together, definitely head over to Illustrated Faith's IGTV account and you can watch me build that one together. Then for day 14, oops, too far. This one was really fun. This one I did as a live, and it was a hot mess trying to do this. I couldn't find my supplies, and then the paint wasn't cooperating. But overall, this was the most fun and most memorable entry from Advent for this year. So this one's just talking about how we put on Jesus and his armor. And I think most of us are familiar with that passage, so I kind of wanted to go with the idea that not only wear your armor, but stand in the army with bear levers. So this one was a lot of fun to do. It was the wildest live I've had yet, most definitely. Alright, for day 15, I kept it really simple with some Illustrated Faith Print and Pray goodies. These are actually not Advent related. These are just some beautiful entries from their shop, and so I just cut them out to make them look like ornaments here. Just want to keep it really simple, and I find that some of the simple ones are actually my favorite. And then here for day 16, this one was a lot of fun. I used a lot of scraps from the kit itself. So these are just the negatives from some of the tabs. This was some of the packaging from the alphas. This right here and this also come from the alphas, and then the paper is of course from the kit. So this one was a lot of fun to put together just using scraps from the kit. And I did that on another entry I'll show you as well. Here it is for day 17. I have a quick little video on my book entry for that day, so you can definitely check that out. And so I basically just put what was in my Bible into this one as well. Now this one was fun. This is day 18. I actually just did some stamping and then let my young daughters just go crazy with their coloring, and that was just a lot of fun, just to watch them take joy out of it, but to also just not have the pressure that day of having to do entries in both areas. And so for that day I kept it very simple in my Bible, very similar to the first day. These are from Illustrated Faith Pray Shop. These are some ephemera leaves from last year's gratitude documented from Illustrated Faith, and this right here is actually from the card that came with the kit. And then for day 19. We're almost there, guys. This one was a lot of fun. Okay, so in my live with the Bear Levers, it was a hot mess with those watercolors. I just can't even explain the fear that I had going into that. I'm not a watercolor girl. I wish I was, but I'm not. So I tried to redeem myself. This is just some cardstock with some white paint down, and then I went in with some different blues and then stamped out these stars. This is from an older Illustrated Faith kit. I don't think it's available any longer. And then just went in with a white pen to highlight a few stars. This right here is from the kit itself. This is from the card, and the alphas came with the kit as well. And then for day 20, this is another one that I just recycled the goodies and leftover pieces from the kit, like a lot of the packaging. So these trees right here are from the back of the alphabet packaging. It was fun to cut those out and use those in my entries for those days. And then, of course, the skinny Charlie Brown trees. Let's see here for day 21. This one talks about being alive in Christ, how he puts his spirit in us. So I definitely went in with some of these little first aid stamps from the Illustrated Faith Revival Camp. And then this is from an older kit as well. And just used what I had. Here it is for day 22. Once again, just using some of those Illustrated Faith printables that are not necessarily Advent themed, and then making them Advent themed. So this is, I believe, one of Brave Little Taylor sets. It's talking about God's not slow in keeping his promises. There's like turtles. So this right here is actually a turtle shell, and I just cut the little turtle's head and tail off. Poor guy. And just turned it into an ornament. Used some of her other pretty lettering and sayings, and just turned those into ornaments for this entry. And let's see. Here we are for day 23. I kept it really simple. This is actually some stamps from the Illustrated Faith kit called Persevere, and it's just some little sprigs. So I just did like a skinny little tree and kept it simple with the labels and stamps. Almost there, guys. Alright, for day 24, it's talking about being faced with temptation, and how this right here is talking about Jesus himself was faced with temptation, and how we can tuck those scriptures into our heart to kind of fight off those temptations that arise. So I use some, this right here, this My Trust is from one of the Illustrated Faith kits. I think it's called Less Hustle, More Jesus. And then this is a Illustrated Faith Print and Pray goodie. I think this has been retired until next year, but this is their fall frame. So I just cut out the inside that had a fall theme. And I thought these colors worked well. And then I just highlighted it with the washi here. And went in with, of course, my label. And then here is the last entry. This one's talking about how we are to live in a way where others know that we are a Christian. And so to me, that's just talking about that inward shine that you have that may draw others. So I used this, I believe this is from the Illustrated Faith freebie, the Advent freebie from this year. This right here is part of Illustrated Faith's Advent kit. This was from Shauna Noel. She had a lot of cute little hand letterings and little deer and so forth. This stamp is actually from Hobby Lobby, and I just went over it on a pink piece of paper and then on a white piece of paper and just cut off the pink and glued that down just to give it a little bit more color. And it's actually a tip in. Uh-oh. It's a tip in that's stuck, but it's a tip in. Yeah, you can see how it's all patchworked. So that is going to do it for Advent. I hope you guys enjoy this flip through. I'm excited to start working in the new Illustrating Bible. So be looking for that in future videos. So have a great one. Bye guys.